What's good, people? It's about the time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So, I put up a video in reference to the comments that Paulie Malagnaggi has made. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of videos out here where people are speaking about it. Now, the original video that I saw, basically, they what he said was repeated, and some tweets and things that he made that he put up. I can't even find that video, but Champ's side has a video, and he basically breaks down same things what he said and some tweets that he put up. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to play Champ's side's video, and you guys who haven't heard what was said don't really understand what he said in the contents that he even said it. Okay, the context that he said it in, and also tweets that he made. So we're gonna take a listen, and I'm gonna let him speak. This video, when it's done, I may or may not add to it. We'll see. But here it is.
Showtime CBS commentator slash former fighter Paulie Malagnaggi, who's Italian American, says that systematic racism does not exist in 2020. He also added a disturbing post in response to someone who questioned him for saying racism doesn't exist by replying, "Might want to check that new evidence on the case, player. Racism might not be made up after all. It might be that it comes from the opposite side you claim it does. Nobody wins when it comes to shit like this. Hope guys like you learned your lesson." You mean guys that believe racism exists? And what lesson do you believe was learned by looking at new evidence, and in what case? I believe he's referring to Ahmaud Arbery, and if you are, you got some fucking nerve. Now y'all know Paulie Malagnaggi. You realize that your name has the word malign in it? Do y'all know what the word malign means? It means evil in nature or effect. To speak about someone in a spitefully critical manner. Isn't it ironic? African American fighter Steve Cunningham called him out on his Instagram. The wild thing about being a black man in America is finding out your favorite wrestlers were racist, your teacher was a racist, the cartoons you love were putting racial insults of your people in your face, and you didn't know it. Now to find out this shit about a fighter I liked, showed my sons, and respected, fuck him, that shit just died. Paulie says, proper perspective means looking at the numbers and how they compare to what happens to other people of other multiple races. I think America and the world has a classism problem that might be considered is on a systematic level, but racism on a systematic level in America is not only gone, it's long gone. Though on an individual case, you certainly will find cases of racism against various people. Classism, I believe, is more of a problem than racism, but people fail to analyze it deep enough. He said 75% of black mothers are single parents. It takes big balls to put problems that are within one's community and blame another race for them in today's world. It takes big racist balls, champ. You got your car pulled like your guy Fred did by me last week. Debating with racists is a waste of my time. I gave you a chance to give your statistics and you spit out one bullshit thing after another. The debate wasn't even difficult. The shame is life is not and never will be easy for most, even as much as I wish it
Why is
could
Paulie
be.
making this a debate?
Now, Paulie thinks this shit is a debate. That's how lost he is. He's trying to debate some shit that's not even debatable and that nobody wants to debate over. And he's basically placing blame on black people for racism. Now, we all know that racism is a product of global white supremacy. Now, Paulie probably knows this or doesn't know this. I asked him how much actual knowledge and studying on the topic has he actually even done. How many books on racism and classism have you ever even read? I dare you to read a book like the ISIS Papers. I dare you to read a number of books by African American authors and scholars. Do you realize they teach classes and people get PhDs and degrees off studying institutional systematic racism today? You're a fighter, dog. You just fought okay, and you wasn't even the best fighter. And you have a commentary role to talk about fighting. Now you stepping into a whole different world, player. You stepping into the world with the scholars, with the science, with some scientists, with some master teachers, and you ain't qualified. It's clear in your response. It's clear in your response. This man had the nerve to say, I hope guys like you learn your lesson. To someone, keep in mind, who didn't mention anything other than questioning him about racism doesn't exist. And this was his response. And then he says it might come from the opposite side you claim it does. Well, I'm going to claim it does come from white supremacy. Do you know about that, or do you need to research about it? I'm not here to teach Paulie Malagnaggi, because if what you said was true, then we wouldn't have shit like affirmative action. That's systematic. You know why affirmative action is in place? I'm gonna let you look it up and find out. I'm not gonna give you nothing because you don't deserve it. I'm just here to expose your dumb ass. You know, in sports, the Rooney Rule. Do you know what that is? Go look it up. Systematic discrimination and racism ain't got nothing to do with classism, fool. You think that your money saves you when you black? How many times Jay-Z and others have to tell you that? Jay-Z is a billionaire, and he still will tell you that systematic racism exists. Meek Mill is a millionaire, and he'll still tell you that systematic racism still exists. It ain't got nothing to do with being poor. That's how lost you are, player. Y'all remember Kanye's song? Even if you in a Benz, you still a nigga in a coupe. That's our experience. You think Kanye he's exaggerating? No. That means I could be driving a brand new Lamborghini truck and get pulled over. What am I getting pulled over for? Oh, well, exactly. All my paperwork is good. But I'm a black man driving a car that most of us don't drive. That they don't think I should be driving. You don't know nothing about that. That's what I'm saying, man. I've never made I don't have one video about Paulie Malagnaggi. I never was inspired by him. I never cared about him as a fighter. I was indifferent towards him. I still, whatever, man, you whatever to me, like I said, but I'm gonna expose this because you getting a little too crazy with it, and you're on Showtime, where pretty much all African American fighters make that channel. Floyd Mayweather built that boxing channel up. Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, and going back even further. You know what I'm saying? Even right now, the main people y'all showcasing, Clarissa Shields, Gervonta Tank Davis, the Charlos, Deontay Wilder, and you got the nerve to sit on your platform and say systematic racism don't exist, when clearly everybody who's well equipped enough to know knows it does. Again, how many books have you read? How much knowledge have you done talking about analyzing deeply? Man, this ain't no fucking boxing match. You need to tool up. And you ain't trying to do that. We already know that. That's why I said I'm not about to teach you about no redlining and how that prison industrial complex. You don't know about that, do you? Because if you do, you wouldn't even type the shit that you saying. You wouldn't say the shit you saying. Somebody help him. It ain't gonna be me. Like I said, I'm not here to go back and forth. I seen people going back and forth with Paulie in the comments for what? It ain't no point. You right. It is pointless to debate with racists. One, it's nothing to debate. It's not a fucking debate. We ain't talking about what we like better, pizza or burgers. What the fuck you talking about? This real life shit. It's not a debate. And it's backed by statistics, you dummy. You need statistics, go get them. They everywhere. But he want to pull you in and see what you gonna bring. And trust me, you don't want that. Because you will get aired out with knowledge and facts that you're going to end up spinning and crying behind. But see, when Devin Haney says, can't nobody boy whoop me or beat me, here they come, oh, he's racist. But Paulie say some shit like this, I'll read it again. Someone said racism doesn't exist. He says, might want to check that new evidence on the case player. Racism might not be made up after all. It might be that it comes from the opposite side you claim it does. Nobody wins when it comes to shit like this. Hope guys like you learned your lesson. Bruh. If y'all cool with that, then I don't even know what to say. If Fighters is not gonna say nothing about that or be cool with that, I have no idea what to say. But I'll tell y'all this. I'm becoming very good on boxing in general. I respect fighters who risk their lives for entertainment, but it's just that, man. It's entertainment. These guys are not, they're not leaders. They're not people we should follow for their intelligence or their political or social, economic worldviews, because clearly a lot of them are not equipped. You just fought, bruh. That's it. And commentate. This is a whole different world. And when you come in this world, you need to be studied up and sharp. Otherwise, you're going to get picked apart. And like I said, I respect boxing. You know, shout out to everybody who fights very well, but that ain't enough for me. You fight well, good. But we scholars over here. We studied up. Historians, scientists, master teachers, and can fight too. Might have not been professional, but that ain't enough, man. Y'all ain't impressing me. And I'm tired of giving my platform because people could fight good. I'm off that shit. It's the baddest brand in the land. Malign. Paulie Malagnaggi. Your name has the first part of your last name has the word malign in it. And there's power in words. Again, the word malign means evil in nature or effect. Malevolent. To speak about someone in a spitefully critical manner. So I guess you earn your name. It's the baddest brand in the land for the best media content. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at The Champ Side. Follow us on Instagram at champ_side. You're now locked into The Champ Side. We out. Peace.
Now, let me add to this. What you just heard, okay? That Paulie said. You see, it's deeper than the comments that he made about, you know, the day of the black fighter. Like, the black fighters is not their time. They had their times in the 70s and 80s. You know, first he said it was the Irish, and then after that the Italians took it, and then later on the black fighters. I mean, we can go back to Jack Johnson, and there was other fighters who, black fighters who, you know, didn't get recognition before Jack Johnson. So we don't have information, we don't have stats on those fighters. But at the same time, I looked at it and I said, I feel like Paulie had a terrible choice of words. So when I did the first video, basically, I got word of what he said. And it was like, okay. And then now, later on with the tweets and the things that he said, it's self-explanatory. Okay. This is the type of thing that I'm talking about when we're speaking about racism. We're speaking about how people love to play the double standard bullshit. Whereas, like he said, when Devin Haney said that, that's racist, right? Which, this is my point. You can't be fucking silent when people who look like you do racist shit. But then when somebody say something back to you or make a comment back towards people that look like you, then all of a sudden now you want to speak. Like, it wasn't wrong when it was done to us, right? If you go back to why Muhammad Ali lost his license and the racism that he went through, Paulie says racism doesn't exist in 2020. Based on what, Paulie? You see, like Champ Side was saying, now you stepping into a world you have no knowledge of. What studying? Where is this shit even coming from? And you know what? Fuck studying. Take the studying part out for this reason, okay? Use some common fucking sense. But you want to know why you have to study? Because you have to have common sense to have common knowledge. And if you don't fucking, you're not oppressed or affected by the same shit that other people are. For you to speak and say that this shit doesn't exist, I mean, that was a poor choice of words. But it's asininely stupid because you're speaking about something that you obviously have no knowledge of. So when you heard me say, man, I've had friends, I've had people that's associates from different walks of life, and when you speak, when racism comes up in any situation, a lot of people that you guys have been there through thick and thin, but they speak about shit they have no knowledge of, and you have to check their ass and let them understand. If you don't know what you're talking about, it's best they shut the fuck up and not comment. And learn what you don't know. People from the outside looking in, or from the outside that just hear shit, think that they can tell you this is why this is happening and what you should do, and I think they're exaggerating, I don't think it's that, it's because of this, and you can sit and talk all day with these people, and they do not have your experiences. So to them, if they themselves haven't experienced it, then it's not happening. It's not real. It's made up. It's like always use, the analogy, the comparison of when two people get pulled over by the cops, right? It's different. Like I ask people, when you get pulled over by the cops, let me just put it to you like this, okay? Because this is about Paulie. But let me just make something clear. It's like I asked several people that I'm very close with. I said, when you get pulled over by the cops, do they shout racial slurs at you? Have you ever had that happen? Have you ever been pulled over because of your skin color? They all said no. I said, let me ask you something. Have you guys been pulled over by the cops often? They said, yep. I said, what nationality was the cop every time? They said, well, they were white. I said, so let me ask you something. If you was watching videos and you saw videos of black cops beating and shooting and killing innocent white people, and I said, I'm specifically saying white people because that's what you see happening to black people. Unarmed black men and getting shot and killed, getting dog sick. And this shit is all over YouTube. I said, so when you see that shit happening, does it affect you at all? Well, I don't really, and long story short, all of them felt like shit. And because of those conversations, they start actually paying more attention to what's going on. And every single one of them have a completely different outlook on the way they used to see shit. This is my point. When you are not being, it's not just an individual thing. When you are being targeted, okay? When your nationality is being targeted, and you know what's so crazy about that? Is because we all are in this country legally. Americans, right? What happens now? The division is still there. It's still there. So when you're speaking and you're saying shit like, trying to, say something is not going on, or it's made up, what are you talking about? See, that's my point. So if it's happening to people that look just like you, and you're turning on videos and seeing black officers beating and killing white people, or a bunch of Latinos, cops, or Asian cops beating and killing white people, then it would be different. And they felt like shit because all the time that they've known me, we've been so cool. But like I said, when something happens and racism comes in, people talk a little too much a lot of times. And when you say something and you sound like you're heartless and not affected by the same things, that we see, well, of course, when people respond to you, they're going to see you for what you are. And it's like, well, damn, and I had a grown-ass man cry on my shoulder, man, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. I really, and so I feel like shit because I really was not aware that this kind of stuff was like happening like it is. And my whole thing is, you try to educate people And that's how you grow. But when a person knows every fucking thing and you can't tell them anything, nah, relationship's not gonna go anywhere. And I'm not somebody that's gonna tuck my fucking tail and tell you what you want to hear so you can like me. I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. At the end of the day, if you get mad at me stand up for the truth and for something that affects me and my people, then fuck you. And I mean that from the bottom of my fucking heart, because you're not going to have me, well, Massa, I just want to make you happy and please you, Massa. I don't want to. No, that's not what the fuck this is. You don't know how many times I personally am in conversations with black people, white people. I face racism from black folks. I face racism from, listen, when you deal with shit and you try to eliminate shit, and you at least try to expose where the bullshit is coming from, and people want to hold on to it because they're racist as fuck. And I mean, I've heard people say shit like, I got the right to be racist. I mean, there's no law that says I can't be racist. If I choose to change my mind, that should be on me, not because someone's making me. I should have the right to be racist. What the fuck kind of stupid shit is that? I got the right to be racist. So when you hear this kind of shit, you have people that basically they're lost. They don't have a thinking process. They depend on people to bring them news and views. And for people that look up to Paulie, that like Paulie, to them that's like, oh, see, Paulie even said blah blah blah. So you become a hero to people when you say some shit that they take the face value that maybe they've been thinking the same way. A lot of times people feel pressure when they're around people of other ethnicities because they feel like they can't say what they really want to say. So when you see somebody like Paulie, who went out his way to put that tweet out and to make these things known of how he felt, why? Why would you feel offended by somebody calling Paulie out and put them in his place? But this is the kind of thing that happened. Okay, it's just like I got a lot of kids around here that look up to me. If they hear me walking around like fucking crackers, this and that, yeah, it's the black man time. Fuck them white boys or fuck them Puerto Ricans. If they hear me doing that, they're gonna look at me like, yeah, that's my man. See, and then they're gonna follow what I do. I don't have no huge platform. The world doesn't know me. But Paulie is well known. But regardless, the point is you have to kill the bullshit. You can't sit here and say things like that. See, and for the people that tried to cover up for Paulie, oh nah, Paulie didn't mean anything. He was just, look, Robert Garcia. I spoke about him in a video. I remember when Mikey Garcia was fighting Adrian Broner, and Adrian Broner, I think he was calling him Mickey, like making fun of him, like calling him Mickey Mouse, like as far as like because Mickey Mouse is a soft character, like not saying he looks like Mickey Mouse, not making fun of his nationality, and they had a picture posted of Adrian Broner as a monkey, and they kept talking about, no, I mean, because we used to play Donkey Kong, we done Donkey Kong, so you're calling him a monkey, calling him a gorilla. Mikey, Robert Garcia stood by that, kept trying to defend it. There was nothing wrong with, Mikey says, well, I mean, if I offended anybody, I apologize, but I mean, why would somebody be offended? But no. I remember there was a time where someone made a comment to somebody, being funny. Hey, yo, man, go get me some enchiladas or some burritos. And I immediately was like, hey, man, watch your fucking mouth, man. What, man, watch your mouth. Ain't no motherfuckers don't lie. I said, just watch your mouth, right? And it's a situation where I ain't gonna get it too deep and I ain't gonna get into it at all, but it was one of those things where you just have to, and then you bring shit to the light. Put shit in the open. People understand what you said or did that was offensive, and then, okay, you know what, kill that shit. You just try to bring people together. People are against that. Robert Garcia has said a lot of fucked up foul shit. I mean, the videos are right here on YouTube, so, I mean, all you gotta do is look. And you gotta understand something. Just like what's my man Cunningham said, I've been saying the same shit. I just found this video a little while ago before I started filming. I didn't even watch the whole shit, so I didn't know what was, but I know Champ's side. He's very detailed with what, get to the point of what was what. So we're going to listen to this and see what's said, because he basically had the information that I had, but he put it on his channel, which I'm glad he did, because now, that video. I can't find, doesn't matter. He basically covered that. And pretty much what Steve Cunningham said. Growing up, find out that your favorite wrestlers are racist. How many times did I talk about the Hulk Hogan situation and different people, Roddy Piper coming out with the blackface, and Teddy Long talking about how Ric Flair came up to him and, you want to keep your job here, nigger? You like working here, nigger? Ole Anderson calling people by that, making racist comments. All these different people walking, hey, the Horsemen, boy, yeah. How many of us around throwing up the 4 for the Horsemen? Same thing with those old Looney Tune cartoons. They always had black people drawn real black with huge, gigantic, big red lips, bigger than their damn heads, and they always made them sound really ignorant. Yassa, what the fuck is yassa? Yassa, because that's how they talked back then. So you growing up watching shit, as a kid, you probably laughing your ass off because you don't realize that you and your people are being made fun of. So if that makes us racist, because we're saying, no, this shit's going to stop. So my point, you can't fucking say shit about Devin Haney when yet all this other shit is thrown at black people, but you sit there and shut the fuck up and be quiet. But see, when I'm trying to put peace, like, people don't understand something. It's like I tell people, we don't have to be racist to fight racism, because if you are racist, then you're not fighting it, you're adding to it. But my thing is, we're not going to sugarcoat and cater to these racist motherfuckers who sit up and support racism, who make racist comments, and then try to, well, what about what that guy said, or what? So it's just like I'm saying, if someone says something that's racist, why would you want to do it? So if there was guys running around here raping every woman in the neighborhood, getting away with it, are you going to go rape women too? Because oh, well, they got away with it, so yeah, let me go rape some women too then. What you going to say? Well, they did it, so that's a good reason for you to do it too. So anyway, you all heard what Paulie said, what his comments were, the tweets that he made. And I mean, listen, there's not much going on in boxing. And I'm talking about different boxing things. I took a little break for a minute, got back to it. And it's like I said, from day one, when I come back, I'm hearing all this racist. It's like, you know what? It's not about focusing on any one particular thing. The sport itself of boxing is just, and not just boxing, everything is being affected by COVID. So there's not a lot going on. But this racist shit, it's like, fuck it. Why not address it? It keeps coming up. And if people are afraid to address something that's causing real issues, or don't have the time, or think that it's, oh, I don't have to, well, fuck you. And I mean that from the bottom of I mean that shit, man. We can sit here and laugh and talk about everything, complain and compare and do all that, but when something is really plaguing people, oh, this is boxing. Yeah, well, nothing's going on in fucking boxing. And I had enough people constantly flooding my fucking channel, the little people that I do have, and motherfuckers are just, yo, but what about people who are not even subscribed to me? You know the funny thing that I find, though? They did exactly what Paulie was doing. A lot of people they're still trying to make a point from months ago about some shit where they're trying to, oh, watch this video and that video. And we'll see, what I was trying to say was, well, I just think this. There's no fucking debate, man. There's no debate. This is not about an argument. It's not about a debate. You need to try to find solutions for things that plague us, that hurt us, that harm us as people. Not sit up and try to make points of. So it's like this. If some grown man tried to harm one of my kids, no, I'm not going to harm his kid, but I'm going to harm him. You understand me? Because you have to be a coward to try to harm a child. So I'm not going to go and harm his child. But I'm definitely going to fuck him up. I'm definitely going to find him and harm him. But I'm not going to touch his child. So the same way where I'm saying, when you hear people make racist comments and then you decide, well, because he said it, I'm going to say it. No, then you can't call that person a fucking racist and not include yourself. That means you are racist too. And this is why every time I hear somebody talking this reverse racism shit, if we were all seen as equals, there would be no such thing as fucking reverse racism. It's just like a fucking dog doesn't look at a lizard and think that it's a dog. And vice versa. It's something different. We look different. We talk different. We both got 4 fucking legs, but one of us is hairy as fuck and the other isn't. Something is different about this. My instincts tell me we're not the same. reverse racism. What the fuck is reverse racism? No, I know what the term means, but what the fuck is reverse racism? Is racism. It's reverse racism. That goes to fucking show you, just for the fact that it's used. That's like if there's really aliens came from the fucking sky, okay, and attacked us and was trying to make, like Planet of the Apes or something, right? Trying to make us slaves and do whatever. Imagine us retaliating and they're like, oh, now this is reverse hate. Why would it make sense to call it? Well, it's called retaliation. But why would it make a little more sense? It would make more sense to say reverse, because we're not aliens. We're humans. But we're all humans, different skin color, different hairs, different whatever. But we want to call something reverse racism because somebody says so. So okay, well, if you acknowledge something as being wrong, you yourself shouldn't want to say it or do it. It's as simple as that. So when all these people that was defending Paulie, at that point, I hadn't had all the facts. And did you motherfuckers hear Paulie make a video to speak up to defend himself, to explain what he was saying? No. Paulie wasn't fired because of his comments. He was fired because he didn't apologize for his comments. So for all of the, Paulie should have been fired. He was only speaking his mind. He was just being real, it's nothing. See, that's my point about people trying to keep racism alive, because you feel like you should have the right, just like people, I should have the right to say nigger. You guys say it. People want to keep this shit going. And when people get fed up and get tired of being the slave, being the weaker of the minority, being in a position of, man, you got to be so careful, man, I hope that cop don't. But every time when you see a cop behind you, you automatically get that feeling like, this motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? Because why? Boop, 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 boop. Oh, you're tired, touch the white line. It's always some simple shit. Then you got a guy in a fucking Mustang doing 90, fucking flying down the street, police station, right? He don't care. And I'm just being real with what the things that we see happening. And when you speak about something, how people are quick to try to defend and make something different from what it actually really is. So Paulie saying what he said, after seeing that shit, man, I got no more respect for Paulie, man. Plain and simple. And I don't give a fuck who don't like it, how you take it. That's your business. I don't care. I'm not asking your permission. I have no respect for Paulie after that. Paulie is a great commentator. He was a decent fighter. But at the end of the day, his views of what he see and how he see things, he just basically made it self-explanatory. Now, even from what him saying about it's not the black fighters' time anymore. Well, who the fuck is Devin Haney? Huh? Who the fuck is Tank Davis? Who's Errol Spence? Who's Terrence Crawford? Are they not champions? Huh? I'm just saying. Who's Anthony Joshua? So, as far as dominance is concerned, if you want to go by ethnicity for whatever, yeah, I'm the guy that said the reason why people don't give Lennox Lewis, Nigel Benn, Chris Eubanks, Joe Calzaghe, Collins, the reason why they don't give them the same respect that they do give the American fighters is because they're not American. I'm the one who said that shit. I said it, and I meant that shit. So it's not about, why would we want to sit here and support racism? Why? So Paulie made his comments. He spoke and said what he said, but he had a poor choice of words. But, the fucked up thing about it is that's how he really feels. And I'm not even for him trying to analyze, first the Irish had it, then the Italians, then the black guy, but all that other extra shit just basically put the exclamation point on everything, man. So I have no respect for Paulie. I don't care. I don't feel what he said, but I understand where he's coming from. So you know what?